2, and go.
You can
cut this part out.
I don't know. No. I fucked up an opening a couple weeks ago, and
I didn't fuck anything up.
No, you just made it more creative.
Yes, go.
This is Horribly Off Topic. This is episode number 75 of Horribly Off Topic. I am Chris.
And I am Steve, and we're here with you every Monday or whenever you listen.
Yes, that's the beauty of podcasting.
Yeah,
it's a selective, time shifted.
You could be like listening on Thursday afternoon just before Friday, and we could be just checking in on you.
Time shifted.
What?
Time shifted.
Yes.
That's what podcasts are. They're time shifted. Has time ever shifted for you?
What does that mean?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Like in a Back to the Future 2 kind of situation where like someone has gone into the past and changed something.
Yeah, or like a Matrix sort of thing where time shifts and you see the same cat twice. Like, has the Matrix ever fucked with you? You ever seen Deja Vu? That's time shifting, right? Deja Vu?
Well, I did see somebody that I knew. I when we went to Plant Night.
Plant Night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know did you tell this part of Plant Night?
I don't think I did.
Should you?
No.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that. You saw somebody that you knew at Plant Night, and it might have been the Matrix fucking with you. It might have been Agent Smith. Might have been the woman in the red dress, right? Those are Agent Smith. He can be the woman in the red dress. Is that how it works?
What was that actor's name? The guy that played
L. Ron Hubbard.
No, he was the guy that created Dianetics.
No, he played Lord Elrond. His name was Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. And I have an Elrond joke. Not really.
An L. Ron Hubbard joke, or
yes.
All right, go.
It's always an Elrond.
We don't want to.
No.
Well, maybe we do. We get some heat on the podcast if the Scientologists are after
No,
us.
it's an Elrond joke, like Elrond, Elf Elrond. Not really a joke as much as an anecdote.
Go for it.
We were watching the Martian. Have you seen The Martian?
No, but apparently they spent a lot of money to get Mac Damon.
Yes, we talked about that last week, right?
Mac Damon.
Mac Damon.
I want to go to Mac Damon's.
I want to go to Mac Damon's. Do you think, what do they serve there at Mac Damon's? Hamburgers, hot dogs?
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. Is it better? Is Mac Damon's better or worse than Wahlburgers?
I don't know. I've never been to Wahlburgers.
I haven't either. I'm just
someplace
guessing, as a New Englander, if you had an opinion.
No, but that's a place that we should go, considering we can.
Where is it? Is it like North End or the South End or?
Well, they're Irish,
they're
so
Irish.
It would be Southie.
Southie, yeah, okay. They wouldn't be hanging out with the Italians.
The Italians, no. This is very gentrified areas.
Yeah. Mac Damon was in a movie called The Martian, and we should go to Mac Damon's in Southie, which is right across the street. If it was there, it would be right across the street in Wahlburgers, right? Because that's how all these fast food or step up from fast food rivalries happen. Like if you got a Five Guys, you got to have a something across the road.
So we need to have another actor have a restaurant.
Yeah. So you got to have a Wahlburgers and you have the Mac Damon's right across the way.
Why can't we just have like a regular person open a burger joint across the street?
Nobody would go there.
Why?
Nobody would go there.
What if they do really good burgers?
Nobody cares.
In-N-Out Burger does really good burgers, right?
Five guys, five normal guys get together, people care. In-N-Out, sexual innuendo, people care. Wahlburgers, Mocky Mock, they care. Or Donnie, or whatever. But
is it Donnie Wahlberg? He was on
just Bob's Burgers. Nobody gives a shit.
Speaking of, people like Bob's Burgers. I've watched it, I like it, but it's just one of those shows that I never think to watch.
Yeah.
On New Year's, we're recording this. It's 2016 now.
It's 2016. First episode.
Episode of the new year.
Of the new millennium. No.
It's not the new millennium.
No.
Not for another math. 74 years. No, 84 years.
8, yeah, something like that.
84 years.
84 years.
And we're not going to make it 84 more years.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Well, you never know. With medical advancements and blah, 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 maybe we'll be cyborgs.
As long as I don't eat too much Mac Damon.
Super!
You were saying?
Yes. So we were watching the New Year's Rockin' Eve.
With Dick Clark.
Yes. Well, no, not with Dick Clark.
They don't wheel him out?
He's dead.
He hasn't been dead all
He's not
these
like Stalin in a like thing in whatever square.
They didn't freeze him like Disney?
No.
It's just like wheel him out. Like,
They should really like
thaw him out just a little bit once a year. I'm sure he died smiling. He's a happy guy. And just have him wave. It's not, nobody's going to notice. They're all either too fucking drunk or they're blind because they started watching Dick Clark when they were little kids. And they with their glasses, they're like, oh, it's Dick Clark.
Or they could just do a hologram of him instead of, and hopefully not a hologram of the stroke version of him.
Yeah, that
would be really sad.
That would be sad.
When he couldn't count down the countdown, but he insisted on doing the countdown.
And they had, was it Carson Daly that took over, or was it Ryan Seacrest?
Seacrest, and he was there. But Jenny McCarthy was there.
Ooh.
Because everybody loves that gem of a human being.
Did somebody spit on her and she needed to get vaccinated?
No, but... no. Oh, you're clever. She was with Donnie Wahlberg, which is...
No shit.
Yeah, he was there, and they were making out at midnight.
Of course they were.
I didn't know that she was with Donnie Wahlberg. I thought she was with some regular Joe.
After Jim Carrey, it's all downhill from there.
I thought she was just with a regular non...
She was a Playmate of the Year, Steve. I mean, does a Playmate of the Year date regular dudes?
She was a Playmate of the Year probably 20 years ago.
Well, you know.
I don't even... That's probably around the time, yeah.
About maybe more than that.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than that.
Mid-90s, I'd say.
I think she was a Playmate of the Year before she was on, was it Singled Out? Was that the show she was on? Yeah.
That was...
and that was on when I was in high school. So
I didn't realize that Chris Hardwick was on that show.
Yeah, he was like, when people talk about Chris Hardwick now, they try to convince me that Chris Hardwick is cool. I remember him from Singled Out, where I thought he was annoying.
Well, the thing is that show was just bad on all levels.
Yeah. I think I watched it even though I found him annoying.
And there was a time in our past that I think we were not pleased with Paul. The Will and Paul rivalry that happened,
rift, the Civil War
that happened, which I think got Paul kicked out of the New Sweethearts or whatever. We probably touched about it on the Sweethearts episode. Mm-hmm. But there was one time we were at Yucco's and we were hanging out, and Paul showed up, and we were like, "Oh no, we don't want to hang out with Paul." So like a bunch of us hid in the basement,
right?
And so Yucco had like 2 phone lines in his house, and we would call from downstairs every once in a while
to find out if Paul was
still there. And Yucco would be like, "Nah, he's still here," and like we were like, what are you doing? Why are you? There was like 3 of them that were upstairs, like Yucco, Paul, and I think one other person. I don't remember who it was. And he was like, we're like, dude, what are you doing? Get him out of there. And he's like, I'm watching Singled Out. He won't leave.
So Singled Out was the way to try and get Paul to
get out of there.
Get out of there. But Paul has a higher tolerance for Chris Hardwick and Jenny McCarthy
than we thought.
Than most people.
See, I don't know. I don't find him like terrible. Like but I've never. I'm never like super like the people that are super into him. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I have since watched a Nerdist thing or two and seen him moderate a few panels at Comic-Con, and he does a good enough job, and he seems like a cool enough guy. My memory of Chris Hardwick is always Singled Out.
Yeah, and sometimes the initial memory you have of somebody can
just linger.
There's been actors that I hated the first time I saw them, and then all right. So
my dad has that feeling about Jodie Foster.
Really.
We were discussing that last night over shots of.
Did I miss that part of the conversation?
No, you were having the conversation with my brother as you should.
You made the mistake of talking to your father.
Listen, here's the situation. I'm going to talk about how I did a good deed for humanity, or at least for Becky. Well, maybe she doesn't feel it the same way, but this is. I felt terrible at one point. I had to go check my laundry, and you and my brother were talking, and Becky was left there next to my dad. I was like, I was like, I gotta go check my laundry. I feel terrible. But I think it was the three of us somehow discussing Jodie Foster and she being very patient with his like
Nonsense.
with his sexist / racist nonsense.
How was he racist in that situation?
I think the racism came later, but
Okay.
and he wasn't necessarily being sexist about Jodie Foster, just being sexist in general.
Okay.
At any rate, yeah,
As people of his generation are apt to do.
he's not a fan of Jodie Foster.
Well, what was
which
the
actor?
movie? What was the movie that?
Oh, he was talking about how she played a not so convincing teenage prostitute in whatever it was, and was trying to.
He was like, I've seen teenage
Taxi
prostitutes
Driver.
in my time, and she is no teenage prostitute.
No, I don't think he went that far.
Okay.
Which actor was it that you were referring to?
I forget the name of the actor, but he plays Mike on Breaking Bad.
Okay.
And he's also in Better Call Saul, and I like him in that show.
Yeah.
But like the first time I saw him was on an episode of Highlander,
Okay.
which was the episode of Highlander we had to edit for our I think it was Field Production 1 class.
Oh, okay. So it's something you had to do for school.
Yeah, so we had an episode of the Highlander from the dailies.
Mm-hmm.
We had to take that episode and turn it into take those dailies and turn it into the episode.
Okay.
So we had to pick out the best takes, etc., and like edit it into something.
So you had to deal with that guy and that episode.
But he was the bad guy in that episode.
Oh, okay. So he gets his head chopped off at the end. Which
Yes,
has to be
actually,
satisfying.
it was the I think Richie was like the young
Oh,
Highlander.
and had Richie become become a Highlander at this point?
Well, like, yeah, it was his first quickening or whatever, or whatever the hell happens when you chop off another Highlander.
You have an orgasm.
and you get all of his powers or whatever.
Yeah, you jizz in your pants.
Yes, so that's what happened. Richie had his first jizz in his pants,
Yep.
as well as taking the character's name was Mako, like the whale,
Like the shark?
like the shark, like the sea creature,
Mako. Like the whale.
or like the shark. You could say that the episode title for this week will be Mako, like the whale.
So that guy, you eventually became.
I was eventually like warmed up to him and found him to be a very believable actor, but
Right.
the bad takes
He had a lot to overcome.
Yeah, there was. But the thing is, like, if I had
He's
just
a guy
seen,
named Mako.
if I had just seen that episode just once,
Right.
I would have been fine with it.
Yeah, but
but
you
if
had
I
to-
saw, but I saw all the shit that happened in between all the things that actually made it.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, the guy that played Duncan MacLeod in the
Yes.
series, he's not great either.
Nope.
And he was not delivering great lines, and you're like,
There was a Highlander movie, I believe, where they tried to get him to
there was like a
take
crossover.
over. Did he show up in one of them?
I thought that was the I don't know if it was the third Highlander movie or if it was the one after that. But like neither of them were good.
No.
I mean, as far as like the actors. I mean, the first Highlander movie is good in its campiness.
Right.
The second one, I think people despise.
Yeah, most people despise it. Although the second one was the first one that I saw. So
Which
for a
was the one
long
with Sean
time,
Connery.
yeah, for the longest time, the second one was I was like, wow, why does everyone hate the second one? Because I hadn't seen the first one. I'd only seen the second, but now I get it.
I don't think I've ever seen the second one because everybody says how terrible it is.
They retcon the whole thing. I think it takes place in the future. And it's wacky. I don't remember much of it. I do remember that I had a friend who.
That's great, Chris. That is great. Why are you taking a drink? That wasn't a One Piece reference.
No, I was just gonna let you go on because you're making fun of me for having a friend.
Yes.
Matt Damon.
We're back on that.
We never finished. Matt Damon in The Martian.
Oh yeah, that's what you. Oh, we got a horribly blah blah.
We got horribly blah blah blah. In The Martian, there is one of the characters that's still back on Earth. It's played by the actor Sean Bean. Are you familiar with
Bean?
Sean Bean's work?
No.
Sean Bean
Well,
played...
tell me other things. Maybe.
Sean Bean was, in addition to being in The Martian, was the guy who always gets killed in fantasy movies, or TV series. So Sean Bean, spoilers, was the one of the protagonists in the first season of Game of Thrones. What's his name? He's the guy from Winterfell.
Hold on.
The Stark. He's Stark.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
now I know who you're talking about.
And then, of course, he was in Lord of the Rings. And so there's this scene in The Martian where everyone is convened for a secret meeting. Sean Bean is there. Somebody says, "Why is this? Why are all the pamphlets? Why does it say Elrond?" And somebody, I think it's Sean Bean, explains because the Council of Elrond was a secret meeting. Of course, Sean Bean, as that character, was at the Council of Elrond, and I thought this was hilarious, and I started roaring laughing. This is on New Year's Eve. We're watching the movie, and I think I ruined the movie for my father because from that point forward, I think he was completely confused as to what joke he had missed. And we tried to pause it and explain to him that it was just that it was a dumb reference for Lord of the Rings fans and Sean Bean fans, but from that point forward, I think he didn't dig it as much. And then, of course, he had to tell my brother that he didn't dig it as much, and that I don't think it turned into a fight. But my brother had lobbied for us watching The Martian as opposed to Interstellar, because at this point he's seen Interstellar a billion times. He's only seen The Martian once. I really dug it. But my dad was immediately kind of shitting on it. For
like, what are you doing, making a reference to another thing?
And he's like, Matt Damon thinks he's really funny, and Matt Damon actually was funny in the movie. And I didn't get why my dad was down on it, except
I don't understand why your dad's down on Steve Harvey either. There was that one time we were just sitting watching
Steve Harvey.
We're watching Family Feud at your house, and he was just getting so mad.
He's a black guy.
I understand that, but like he doesn't. I've seen him watch black people on TV before and not getting angry.
And not get as angry as he got. Maybe he knew what was going to happen with Miss Universe.
I thought that was hilarious.
He was just getting ready for it.
Who did he say? Like Colombia was the winner,
Miss
and then
Colombia,
it was actually like Vietnam. Or something.
Venezuela, maybe. I don't know.
Was it Venezuela?
What it was something. All right, you get it with your phone. I don't know. I feel like I'd had a conversation with him about Steve Harvey, and it wasn't that contentious. But maybe he just remembers the good old days when it was any number of different white men hosting the Family Feud. I don't know. Could be.
Okay, so like I guess it was. I guess who like, it's,
Dave Harvey.
I see a lot of Miss Columbia was the winner, or not the winner, but I don't.
But
see
you don't see who actually was
the winner. Maybe it'll be on this article.
Who won this year's Miss Universe pageant?
Oh boy, Miss Philippines.
Let me think.
I found it.
What I found on the web for one this year's Miss Universe pageant.
Shut up.
Grace.
Mistakenly named Miss Columbia the winner because Steve Harvey's a silly goose.
Yeah.
Miss Philippines, but yeah, Miss Columbia. I saw an article when I was looking this up that she will pose nude, but she will not do pornography.
She will pose nude.
Columbia, not Philippines.
So the winner, not the
not winner.
The not winner will pose nude.
Yes, that's what it said.
Because the winner doesn't have to pose nude.
I don't think so. Well, she could.
She could if she wanted to. But if she did, she might be in like a Vanessa Williams situation there. You remember Vanessa Williams?
No.
Save the best for last?
No.
No. She was she Miss America? I think she was Miss America. And I don't recall if she had done the nude photos before she won or after she won, but she did nude photos. They appeared in Playboy, I think, and then she was stripped of her title.
Stripped.
She was stripped of her title
because it was against the integrity of something that Donald Trump had his name on.
Something or other. And then she was only recently welcomed back to the organization It's
like,
hey, she went on
It's like
to
the Iron Sheik into the WWE or whatever.
just like the Iron Sheik.
Fuck your ass and make you humble.
Wait, fuck your ass and make you humble?
That's what he would say.
If
he were here, he would say, "Fuck your ass and make you humble." In his Iranian from Tehran.
Do you think he ever fucked a dude's ass?
I hope not.
Yeah,
I don't know. He was.
I mean, he did
He
the
was
camel clutch.
Greco-Roman wrestler. He lived in like
The camel
somewhere
clutch,
in the Midwest, like when he first moved to the States.
right? I feel like the camel clutch would be a good position to get somebody into if you wanted to fuck them in the ass. If they were into a little bit of light BDSM, maybe you're restraining them while you're doing them in the.
We
the
talked
butthole.
about wrestling enough, like the last couple of weeks.
Maybe.
Let's let's back off a little bit.
Back off on the wrestling. Back off on the sex. There's some things we're not supposed to talk about.
No, I'm just kidding about that. You need to talk about sex more.
I need to talk about sex more. Okay. But related to sex.
Oh, you have a sex topic.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because as people start to get up there in age, I think the anniversary is typically one of those times in which you can maybe count on sex. This is the 75th anniversary of our podcast, Steve.
We're not having sex.
No. But the
Just
podcast.
let me put that right out of your fucking mind.
Well, it wasn't in my mind until you brought it up.
No, you.
And
you,
now
you
I'm
knew
imagining...
that I was going to say that.
No.
You knew that.
No, I did
going
not.
to say that.
I now I can't help but imagine you in the camel clutch.
I am not going to be the bottom in this.
You're not gonna be the bottom in this.
In this.
You're gonna fuck him in the ass and make him humble.
Ooh.
The Iron Sheik. Yeah. He's still alive. He's still alive, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he made the documentary. I know that. I just didn't remember if he died at the end of it, or if he was Mickey Rourke. He just sort of bit it at the end. I don't know if Mickey Rourke's character died.
He's still alive, but
either.
In the documentary that I saw, he was either getting help or treatment for some of his drug problems.
Yeah, I watched it. I just couldn't remember if he was gone. 75 is the diamond anniversary.
Now we were talking about this like briefly before we started the show.
Yes.
And I brought up the fact that who makes it to the 75th anniversary? Like
Romeo and Juliet would have made it to the 75th anniversary had shit not happened.
Had they not died immediately before they got together.
Right. I mean, they were like 15 when they got married, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did they get married in that?
I think they got married. They got married. That's like one of the things that happened.
But then they both killed themselves.
Yes, they didn't kill each other.
Yeah, well, there was an antidote or whatever or something. And
Fucking kids today.
Like they didn't understand.
They
could have just run off before they did all this shit.
Poor
instead of
Leo.
like pretending to poison each other or whatever the fuck.
Did you watch the version of it with Leonardo DiCaprio?
I probably did.
Yeah,
but I don't. This was pre having phones, and so I couldn't just play a game on my phone.
Right.
While I was
While
watching
watching
something that I'm not interested in. I also play games on my phone when I'm watching something I am interested in. So,
but see, that's actually I mean, I think one of the reasons that play probably gets produced as much as it does, not it's an easy to follow story, but it's actually a pretty short and streamlined story, and it's hard. I think it's pretty hard to do, at least if you have quality people, at least pretty hard to do a terrible production of Romeo and Juliet. And I like the version with Claire Danes and Leo.
I don't think I like Claire Danes.
She's your Jodie Foster.
I don't know. No, I don't have like strong opinions.
No, it's no strong. Just no opinion at all.
Well, I don't want to say no opinion because I did just say that I don't like her.
Yeah.
But I didn't say I hated her.
What did Claire Danes ever do to you?
I don't know. She was in things.
She put you in a cobra clutch? Fuck you in the ass and make you humble?
Clover clutch?
Cobra clutch?
Cobra clutch. Is
Camel
that like
clutch? Camel clutch.
I thought you said clover
me.
clutch.
I said cobra
It's like
clutch.
she was like tying like
She was tying you in a pocketbook.
yeah. Clover? Is that
Cobra clutch, and a clutch is a type of handbag.
Oh. What? She put me in a bag?
She put you in a bag, fucked you in the ass, and made you humble.
Would she have a strap on?
Yes.
Or does she have a penis?
No, strap on. definitely a strap.
No strap on. She has a penis.
No strap on. She had a.
You
strap
heard it
on.
here, folks. Claire Danes has a
What
penis.
did Claire Danes ever do to Steve Woodbury?
She never fucked me in the ass with her
Okay,
penis.
what did she do that you don't like her?
I don't know. I never had I don't know. It's just, sometimes you just don't like
Sometimes
somebody.
you just don't like people.
Yeah, sometimes.
You feel like a nut.
I have some cashews. Do you want some?
Sometimes you don't.
Oh, never mind. Is
Most
a
of the
cashew a
time.
nut or is it a legume?
That is a good question that I am not looking up because I
Good.
need to
What are you
understand.
looking up?
I am looking up Claire Danes because I need to settle this. I need to figure this out. Claire Danes, what has she done to you?
Okay, well, I'll look it up and you start talking.
Well, Claire
about...
Danes was in My So-Called Life.
I think that's it.
That's
is it.
Okay, all right.
I hated My So-Called Life.
It wasn't that she fucked up Terminator for you forever.
No, it was that she was in that show, which I could not even remotely relate to.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
And like people were like, I had friends that were into it, and they were like, "Oh, this is so good," and I'm like, I don't know. I forget that you've watched it, right? You're emo enough to have watched it.
I never watched it when it was first. Well, I might have flipped past it when it was first on MTV. I was not. I wanted MTV to
Play music
videos, and so when they didn't play music videos, even if it was something like cute Claire Danes being emo and hanging out with,
I didn't find her attractive either.
For friends, like. I skipped past it. But I think I've watched an episode since when it was on Netflix, and I didn't hate it. I just was like, oh, that was definitely of a time and a place. And
because she had like the gay friend, and was he like
Yep.
out gay or something like that? Did he
I
come
don't
out?
recall.
Was that like a thing?
he was. I think he must have at some point, or maybe he was on. Maybe he was out to his friends. I don't know. I didn't watch the show.
I don't know. Like we need to be somebody out there that's watched.
That is a huge fan of Claire Danes
Or My So-Called Life. Tell us about it. Give us the synopsis, and that maybe that'll make me figure out why I don't like it.
Out. See, for me, like I was aware of her in that, and then she starred in a music video for Soul Asylum, for one of my favorite Soul Asylum songs, the name of which is now escaping me. And then she was, or right around that same time, she was in Romeo and Juliet. And I think the stuff for Romeo and Juliet, which happened which was starting to come out, I think, what part? It came out in 96, so it's 20 years old. But I feel like we were starting to see it as I was graduating. Oh no, it came, so I guess it would have been all being promoted while I was
in college.
So I don't know, at some point, Claire Danes in that movie, I dug that movie. And
Well, you're a theater guy. You're into that scene. I haven't been as much. You know.
Yeah, I hear she's on
Especially
something.
not musical theater.
Yeah, no,
That's something that I have.
When we've been deciding what to watch over the last few days, that my brother left to go home to California today. Musicals, I think, were generally out. I think I might be. Maybe me and my wife are the musical people. My mom will go for a musical here and there, but
See, like when there's a music number in something, it takes me out of the story.
Yeah.
Usually, and I mean, this is nothing. I mean, if people enjoy it, good for you. But it's weird for me.
yeah. Well, I have certain rules too. I think we talked about this when we talked about Les Miserables. Like I that one is an entirely sung through musical. Like there's no spoken dialogue.
That seems like to make more sense than like being like, hey, we're doing a normal thing and now we're singing la la la.
And I'm not a huge. There's not a ton of them that I'm a huge fan of, but I like them when they're done well. Like and I like the ones that are kind of almost aware of how cheesy and ridiculous it is for somebody to break out into song.
Well, the thing is, like, even things like that I enjoyed, I still like it. It didn't sit right with me. Like the South Park movie. Mm-hmm. Like it has a bunch of musical numbers in it,
right?
And the certain ones that are okay.
Yeah. Springtime for Hitler.
But
that's not in there.
That isn't in there.
No, that's
in the producers.
That's in the producers.
But I've never seen the remake of the producers with Nathan Lane and
I think
Matthew
I saw
Broderick.
that and I regretted it. I don't think it was very good.
But like the thing is about, the producers originally, I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to be. I liked the producers, so I don't know.
The original movie, not
The original movie.
yeah.
Was there a lot of musical numbers in the producers?
I don't remember. I have to confess that my knowledge of Mel Brooks begins and ends with Spaceballs.
Really? That's
Pretty
the only
much.
one that you really
That's
watched?
the only one that I've ever really invested time in. I know that I watched Robin Hood Men in Tights at some point, but other than that, yeah, I've never seen Blazing Saddles. I feel like I saw or was forced to watch Young Frankenstein at some point.
I really
when I was
like
too young to appreciate it.
like Spaceballs came out. I remember seeing I saw it in the theater. And I remember when it came out on like pay-per-view.
Yeah, yeah,
It was like before it would go to the HBO, but we didn't have HBO anyways.
yeah.
But like they would have that channel that would show clips of the movies
Right.
that were on pay-per-view, so they would get you to maybe want to.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like Scroob. He was inhaling the can of like
Of air.
like the Perry air. or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And it was like from Druidia or whatever, and like it was that scene, and I remember watching it like 100 times, and I wanted to get it on pay-per-view, but my parents were like, "No." It's weird, like the kind of memories you have, like just
Well, with Spaceballs,
like I couldn't watch an actual show on television. I kept on watching this freaking clip
The
of one
clip.
movie.
It's not dissimilar from my kids watching the same YouTube clip like 20, 30, 40 times.
What are they into now?
Well, they don't do that as much anymore, but it's because there is so much out there of kids building Legos and customizing their toys and God knows what. But back to Spaceballs, my Spaceballs memory was, I think it came out on VHS around the time I was in 6th grade, because I recall I was at McCarthy and one of my newer friends, a guy named Rob, who I had just met because in our town where we grew up, dear listener, there were multiple elementary schools that all funneled into one middle school. So I had just met this kid, even though we were the same age, because he'd been at a different elementary school. And Rob's younger
You guys
brothers-
were fast friends.
Yes, Rob's younger brothers were obsessed with Spaceballs and would put the tape on over, or either that or they had like the black box to watch it on pay-per-view as much as they want. One way or the other, his brothers had Spaceballs on. It sounded like 24/7, not 24/7, but whenever they were awake, Spaceballs was on. And so Rob was not a big fan of the Spaceballs. You could not talk. That was the one thing. I like Spaceballs. I owned the Spaceballs novelization. But
There was a novel?
There was a novelization. Yeah, like of course there was. I mean, I'm surprised that there wasn't.
Spaceballs the t-shirt.
Spaceballs the toilet paper.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I was a big fan, but that was one thing I could not talk to my new friend Rob.
Where the real money of the film is made.
Merchandising. Speaking of merchandising,
What's that?
you have a most peculiar ice cube tray that
Yes.
you gave me one ice cube from for the show today.
Yes, we Becky got me a Han Solo frozen in carbonite ice cube tray.
And still time. And we already there's still time to save it.
What happened to his voice?
I don't know. Well, because he was being choked by Chewbacca. Remember? He's
Oh.
being choked by Chewbacca, and he can barely get it out. And he says Han. Everyone else calls him Han. Lando. Han.
Well, the thing is, like, Billy D. Williams was one of the coolest guys ever.
Oh, for sure.
And I was rewatching the episode 2 Red Letter Media thing recently, and they were like, and they were he was just going over why Sam Jackson was in the prequels because, like, you know,
Needed a
Billy
cool
D.
black
Williams
guy?
in what?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Billy D. Williams in Empire and in Return of the Jedi, he is a cool character.
Yeah.
He is a, like, you know, sort of a suave guy.
Yeah.
Like, and he's actually playing up his coolness.
Right.
But Sam Jackson as Mace Windu is not cool at all.
No.
He does not have excellent delivery of his lines.
No.
He does not fight well with his purple lightsaber in any particular way. But then again, no one really does because it's all crazy choreographed bullshit.
Right.
and it was just like, why is this person like in this? And then he was just basically like, it's for the quote unquote urban market.
That's why you have Sam Jackson in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's when and we, as we've said multiple times, I am not the hater of the prequels that everyone else is, and that I should be. But when I think about how wasted Sam Jackson is, that's one of those things that
They could have gotten
gets me mad.
a better actor to be in a stoic role, and
Yeah.
it might have worked out a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, the scripts were garbage. So.
Well, that's the thing. I think Sam Jackson with a good script probably could play stoic. It would be hard. It would be hard for us to leave our preconceived notions of what Sam Jackson is at the door. But I think he's a good enough actor that with a good script, he could have done it, and a good director.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, when you see Sam Jackson, you want him to be screaming about fucking snakes on a plane. You don't want him to be fucking talking about, well, the Emperor or the Senator Palpatine, blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah, yakety yakety, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Little brother took your suit. You're Iron Man, and he took your suit. That's Sam Jackson. Like, Sam Jackson can be a sort of side character in a science fiction fantasy universe, like, as evidenced by him as Nick Fury. Him as Nick Fury in the Marvel movies.
But the thing is, there's Fury in his name.
Yeah. This is true.
And he's like, he has parts where he's like just, talking to people at a normal tone, but he gets a little bit heated.
And then he gets to be campy with his humor. Like when he's got the eye patch in that later in that same scene. No, it's like a scene later in Iron Man 2, and he looks at Tony and he says, "I got my eye on you," and he gives a little tilt, and it's like, it's a terrible bad joke, but Sam Jackson like nails that terrible bad joke. Love him in that movie. I love that movie. Everyone fucking hates Iron Man 2, but
I don't hate Iron Man 2. I liked Iron Man
I'll
2.
rewatch Iron Man 2 like every day of the week.
Iron Man 3, on the other hand, was a little bit
Yeah,
off
Iron
the
Man
mark.
3. People praise Iron Man 3, the same people who hate Iron Man 2, and I think these people don't like movies.
The thing is, like, Iron Man 3, like, it's a downer for most of it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, why did they have to shoehorn that freaking kid into it is beyond me.
The kid, I guess that director sets a bunch of stuff at Christmas time, or at least when he works with Robert Downey Jr., he does. Like, that part's not so bad. But yeah, the kid is a little weird. And, the Mandarin, like, some people who don't like it get mad about the treatment of the Mandarin. I think that part's pretty funny. And I get the idea that they wanted to do something different. But that's where Iron Man as a solo character ends. That just feels weird. That doesn't feel like the proper
They're not making an Iron Man 4?
I mean, who knows? They might, but he's not. I don't think he's under contract to do a solo one. He is a major character in the next Captain America movie.
I still need to see the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is a fantastic movie.
Holy smokes, that dog is barking.
Yeah. Winter Soldier, and of course, see, you should, from a pure
dog barking standpoint.
No, from a pure money management standpoint, you should see the Winter Soldier before Captain America: Civil War comes out, but certainly before the Infinity War movies come out, because the two guys who directed who directed Winter Soldier are directing Civil War, and then they're directing both parts of the Infinity War thing.
Infinity.
So if you don't like those guys, if you don't like their approach, then you can save yourself the money of going to the theater and seeing 3 movies. And you can say, you know what? I'll just catch those when they come out on.
We ended up going to see Sisters last night.
Sisters.
It was funny. Like, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about it.
Yeah.
It's just, sort of
the
raunchy comedy a la Bridesmaids.
Yeah. I see. The only thing I would say not bad about it, is nothing bad about the movie, but bad about the fan reaction, because it came out the same weekend that Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out. And the fan stuff on the internet was so contrarian that everyone was like, "This is my Star Wars." Like a lot of the people who were pumped to see Sisters, like that was the whole thing. They were like trying to get hashtags going, and it was like a whole.
Well, it was when
that has nothing to do with the movie.
When
which
you're
I'm
starting,
glad to hear is good.
your movie is starting like against Star Wars. You have a hill to climb.
Yeah, I mean, but you didn't hear anybody saying that Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Chip was their Star Wars.
No one ever said that, and nor will ever anyone say that or ever.
Although I think my kids might have been more interested in seeing
Road Chip.
Road Chip.
Well, the thing is, kids' movies are exactly that.
Or they're Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, where they're not even good kids' movies.
I'll do a spinning trick. That's a good trick, or whatever the fuck he says.
Whee!
Come on, R2, let's go on his airplane accidentally.
Yippee!
Oh, I'm shooting down space pilots because I'm a great pilot, even though I'm a little kid.
I'm a boy, and my name is I'm a person.
I'm a person.
I'm a person. My name is Anakin.
I have a lot of magical midichlorians in me.
And I'm going to stalk you and have a completely inappropriate relationship with you in 10 years.
All right. How we doing on time?
How we doing on time? We're at 40 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh, wow. This might be a short one, folks. Oh, we got more on the list?
Well, no, I mean, not a ton, but we did dance around New Year's. So you went and saw Sisters. Was that on New Year's or was that after?
No, that was yesterday.
Okay.
Before I went over to visit with you and your brother and your dad.
And that's right, because you went to Chunky's.
Yeah, I went to Chunky's. I drank a half a gallon of beer.
Is there... See, I've always gone to Chunky's with my kids. Is there a case to be made for going to Chunky's as adults, as grown-ups, and getting the meal and
I didn't. We didn't get a meal. We went to a dive bar before that.
Oh, okay.
I got a meal there, and then I just got a pitcher of beer for myself.
You got a pitcher of beer at Chunky's.
Yes.
Okay.
And just watch the movie.
Watch the movie. And was the movie made better by the fact that you could drink beer watching it?
Actually, no, because I had to pee so bad at the end of the movie that I think the end I'm just like, could you fucking end, please?
So are you mad at Tina Fey now?
No, I'm not mad at Tina Fey because she made a movie that was an average length. I'm mad at myself because I drank an abnormal amount of alcohol at a movie.
Yeah. New Year's. Do you have any New Year's traditions? I don't know if we talked about this last year.
We just went out for dinner with a couple of our friends, and we just came home.
Yeah,
just the two of us. It was pretty low key, but we had a good time.
Did you make it to midnight?
Yes, we did. We were we tried to take a nap when I got home from work.
Tried,
and I maybe could have. I guess I slept for like a half an hour.
Yeah. We watched The Martian, and then I went upstairs. We've all been sick this week, so I think Stephanie was starting to come down with it. I went upstairs, check on her. I kind of fell asleep, and I think I was in and out, and then she nudged me, and she's like, "Happy New Year." So like I think I was vaguely awake at the ball drop.
We actually watched the ball drop from Times Square.
With Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest, and there was a bunch of bands that I give no shits about singing songs about dancing or whatever.
Dancing.
Come
you gotta
up
dance.
And dance and stuff or whatever.
Come up and dance and stuff. That was the number one track of 2015.
Yes.
That's my New Year's Eve tradition, I should say.
Is to find new tracks to listen to?
No, I post for the last 6 or 7 years. Every year I post the songs that iTunes says that I have listened to the most in that year. The top 25 of them. And often
mine would probably be Harry Nilsson a bunch because whenever I'm like, I don't know, whenever I'm listening to music, I don't listen to music a lot when I'm in the car.
Yeah.
I'd rather listen to podcasts or whatever.
Right. I tend to do podcasts, but I do. If a podcast ends and I've only got 20 minutes left, I tend not to start a new one. I'll tend to put.
They probably say I listen to Bill Burr's podcast.
Yeah,
most out of the year.
That can happen.
I always because he does 2 a week now.
He does 2 a week,
so that's probably why. That dog is nuts.
Yeah, no, that's my only tradition is to post that. I have no way to segue into this next thing, which was just that we went bowling. That's the other thing. I had the kids this week. The kids were home with me, and it was a challenge to find stuff to do with them every day. We taught them how to play.
Did John come along with you? Or?
He did, yeah. He helped a lot of that. It was great because he helped me teach them how to play Clue. There's a lot of other cool stuff we did this week, but bowling,
because they're a lot more because they don't get to see Uncle John as much. So
if Uncle John wants to do something, then
they're like more apt to want to do it because
yeah.
it's like, oh, I don't get to hang out with my Uncle John, so maybe I'll do the thing that I would be a lot more reluctant to do if it was just the three of us.
Yeah, but Melody less so. The younger one less so. She only wants to do things when she wants to do them. We got to the bowling alley. We got the shoes. We got all the way down to the lanes. We got 2 lanes. And
so you guys could actually bowl, and they could.
Yeah, so we had the dudes. Stephanie was working, so it was me and my brother and John on one lane, and my grandmother, my mother, my mother, and my 2 kids on the next lane. And Melody wanted nothing to do with it, but once she bowled one ball, all of a sudden she was hooked. And the next day she was like, "Can we go bowling again?"
You're gonna have to sign her up for a league.
Apparently, yeah. Well, she bowled 2 strikes.
Because she had the ramp.
She had the ramp and the bumpers. Yes, but she bowled 2 strikes. Even with the ramp and my mom, I think, was thrown off by the bumpers because my mom was bowling on that lane where the bumpers were down. And
I imagine your mom has a little bit of skill that she has developed over the years.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was the cool thing to do, going bowling.
Go to the drive-in.
And back in the day, they had those things within like a couple miles of the house. I mean, when
there was a bowling alley over by Hong Kong.
Yeah, there was a bowling alley not far away.
Getting local for you.
There was a drive-in heading in the other direction
on 110.
Yeah, not that far from the house.
It's condos now.
Condos
right next to the Elks Lodge.
Because all we need is more condos.
Right.
Or love. I think love is all you need.
And more condos.
More condoms.
Well, yes. So
yes.
Less children
and more love. Because if there are fewer children, then there's more love to go to the other human beings who already.
You ever heard the expression dinks?
Dinks. I have heard that expression.
We were referred to that as that recently.
You were being a couple of dinks?
We are a couple of dinks. We are dual income, no children.
Oh,
no kids. Sorry.
That I had not heard. I mean, dinks as in like a derogatory term that dudes used to throw back and forth at each other. That's why I was confused.
The acronym
be a
dink.
That was a thing that we used to say to each other when we were kids. Not you and me, but
I've definitely called you a dink, probably at some
point.
If not, I'm going to right now. You're a dink.
But I'm not a dink in the sense that you are.
No, because you have children.
I have children. So double income, no kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. And I said children, but
Oh, double.
No,
okay. Gotcha.
I originally said children, and that's incorrect because
yes.
that's a C, not a K. But
yeah,
you still
would get the idea. Yeah. Oh. How do you feel about being called a dink?
I'm all right with it.
I mean, I never minded being called a dink, the old-fashioned dink.
But the thing is, like, I think a lot more people...
Dink.
An old-fashioned dink. Just an old-fashioned dink. Coming down in 3-part harmony.
I don't know what.
Paul Williams?
I don't know.
You know Paul Williams?
I don't remember Paul
Did
Williams.
Rainbow Connection.
Now that we found it.
He did the theme from The Love Boat.
The Love Boat.
The Love Boat.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum.
There's a documentary on Netflix called Paul Williams is Still Alive. Check it out.
Oh. Yeah. Paul Williams is a dink.
He's not a dink. I think he had children.
Oh, okay. But he
had a lot of...
He might have been a dink in the classic sense.
But yeah, we were referred to as dinks, and I guess a lot more people are waiting longer to have children or not having children at all. So,
which is not a problem. Where the world is kind of this is kind of overpopulated.
yeah, but the thing is, I don't think the big issue is with overpopulation is happening in the United States.
No, probably not.
In urban areas, yeah,
Yeah.
because there's too many people on the roads, and there's not enough like places for them to go when they're all on the roads at the
Well,
same
we need
time.
more condos. For people, fit more people in condos than you could fit in an abandoned drive-in.
Yes, but I mean, there needs to be more places to live.
Yes.
Because like what was it, the Big Short, that movie that I didn't see it yet, but like they
I don't know that one.
it's Steve Carell and some other folks.
Okay.
It's apparently really good. Just the housing crisis that happened in 2007 2008.
Okay, yeah.
Just like when people bought homes and then couldn't afford them.
Like me.
Do you understand this concept, Chris?
I am familiar. I resemble that remark.
Okay, so that happened, and it was just
Although
like,
technically we could afford ours when we bought it. I should clarify. It's just bad stuff happened afterwards.
yeah, okay. So, but the thing is, like, if you had bought in 2008,
Yeah.
when everything kind of got flushed down the toilet,
Right.
you'd probably still be in your home.
Perhaps, yeah. We bought in 2004 and then refied in 2007. And what we should have done is sold in 2007.
Yes, that would have been great, and then
That
you'd be
would have been fantastic. Would be a very different scenario right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's the housing prices. The thing is, like, we try to keep like the prices down for like essential things, like food.
Yes.
Like I mean, certain times like food goes up a little bit, but it's not like extreme amounts of like price fluctuation.
Yeah, no, it goes up gradually over
time. But the thing is, like, housing prices are just like they either and the thing is, like, you shouldn't. I hate it when people gamble on things that are essential for like life.
Right, like housing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I am.
I mean, it's great for people that have a home that's worth a lot of money, but it's not great for people that like are forced to rent and they can't afford it, because like at some point I'm gonna want to buy something.
Yeah.
But like the way the prices are right now, I don't want to around here.
I mean, I think I've talked about this before. I don't have a strong desire to ever buy again, but I think I absolutely am with you that for people who want to buy, it sucks that people gamble on the whole thing,
and so it's just like a bunch of like people that have a lot of money are like, oh well, I'll buy this and fix it up, or those house flipping shows, all that shit, and I'll fix it up and I'll sell it for a profit. Like, if you have enough money to buy a house in cash, I guess you can do that. But a lot of people in this world do not have that kind of cash floating around.
And they turn it into a whole
industry,
and a whole almost cult. The whole house flipping, which was a big thing back when that bubble was happening, and now it seems like it's
reemerging.
Yeah, and it's
and
did
you know
we
what
not
happened?
learn anything in the last 5 to 10 years?
The thing is, they're not giving the subprime mortgages that they were.
Right. Yeah.
But still, like, the bubble has to, like, it can't, like, housing prices can't go up like consistently.
Right.
Eventually they're going to have to go back down, because like eventually you're going to have no one buying houses.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh, I have this house that's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
But if no one has $1 million to fucking buy it, then
right.
yeah, your house is worth diddly squat basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, then there's all sorts of other things factor in there. I mean, even if we wanted to buy a house, I don't know at what point in the next however many years we'll be able to afford one as a double income couple who has
with children.
With children, that makes that where our double income is the equivalent of the single income of some of our friends. So then there's like job stuff and all sorts of other things that enter into the equation that are probably more complicated than we need to talk about.
Why'd you go and have to make things so complicated?
How do you feel about Avril Lavigne?
I'm all right with her. I mean,
Yeah. She was an
she's
interesting.
Ichiro Oda's favorite musical artist.
Whose?
There's just a one piece.
Hold on.
Drink water.
I hope that made
She
you
has
all
2 songs
moist
at the end of
out there.
the One Piece Film Z soundtrack.
Film Z. So Film Z?
Yes.
Film Z. Flimsy?
What are we doing on time?
54:20.
All right, that's close. That's close
Yeah,
enough
that's
to
pretty
wrap
close.
up.
So we covered all the things on the list, all the things, all the time.
So-
Wait. How did the Patriots cheat this week?
Well, yeah, but
I don't know what that means.
you don't.
She doesn't know what that means. No, I should
Let's
ask it the
figure out
regular
what
way.
the score is because the game was
What
ending.
was the score of the Patriots game?
Well, they probably
The Patriots were defeated by the Dolphins today. The final score was 20-10.
Bastard.
20-10. Wow, they got another 3 points. So yeah, they did not cheat. Well, they probably tried to cheat, but
They
failed.
probably tried to cheat, which is why they lost.
Yeah, they were like, let's just keep all our good players out.
Yep. Let's
so
run the football.
They don't get injured, and we run the. Let's run the football
Let's
a lot
run the
instead
football
of
a lot
passing.
and not have Tom Brady pass.
Yeah, so he doesn't throw out his arm or.
He got hit nasty when I was before I came over here. The guy didn't get called on it. Was I know they looked like they were just playing to not get anybody hurt today, which is
Then they should have not put Brady in.
I know that was my friend Beth pointed that out, that if the whole point was to just like let's not have Brady get hurt, why not
Why
put
have
in
why not have
Garoppolo.
Brady? Yeah.
the other guy.
Garoppolo?
Garoppolo, Steve Garoppolo. Wow. Yeah, he was in Police Academy.
No, that's Steve Gutenberg.
I think you're thinking of Hightower. Hightower.
No, that was Bubba Smith. He was a
Bubba.
football player.
Bubba Smith? Bubba Smith.
Yes.
What was the name of the guy who did
Tackleberry.
No, I forgot about him.
He was the guns guy.
The impressions guy.
That was Michael Winslow.
Michael
was the name of
Winslow.
the actor.
And what was this?
That was
Tackleberry.
Yes, the guy I already said.
Tackleberry.
Michael Winslow was
What a nice name.
was supposed to be on Opie and Anthony once back in like the WNEW days.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when they were they basically were like going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they I think they had a woman put a bottle in her vagina, and they shot bottle rockets out of that bottle in the studio. And I think he was in the studio, or not in the studio, but in the green room waiting to go on the show.
Yes.
Like during that time, and I think he just ran out, and he never ended up being on the show.
he couldn't take it.
Yeah.
That was too much. Bottle rockets in the vagina. Just
He's like, these fucking
too far.
scumbags.
working with a guy named Tackleberry, not too far. Tackleberry. How did I forget that?
Tackleberry seems like
Kim Cattrall got naked in that first movie, didn't she?
she did.
Didn't she wasn't she topless in that movie?
I don't know. Let's go back and watch it. Let's watch them all. Let's do a Police Academy marathon.
I feel like those were on at some point when my brother was home, because I came downstairs and I saw that the very end of one of the Police Academies was on. I think it was the first one, where there's some joke about somebody giving blowjobs beneath the podium and like.
Oh, Punky. Oh, jeez. You can reach us on via email, hot@clarkwoods.com.
Soleil Moon Fry.
Yes. hot@clarkwoods.com. You could send us an email if you want to send us an extended message, or you could just reach out to us.
Reach out and touch someone.
On the Twitter, Chris is at ECC1977. I am at Tuesday is Loser. That is Tuesday. The word Tuesday. The word is the word loser, all mushed together as one giant word. Tuesday is Loser.
Tuesday is Loser.
Yes. At Tuesday is Loser.
And if you want to find the show notes for this episode, if you did not see them already in your podcast player, they will be at clarkwoods.com/hot/75. 75.
Because diamonds are Chris's best friend. Push the button. Push the
button?
Frank.
The button?
Push the button, Frank.
All right.